I was almost afraid to put this list together. I know some of the fragrances I'm going to talk about include some of the most hyped up fragrances on YouTube here. If you are very observant, you realize I have never really featured any of these in my list of anything. I have hardly recommended some of these, but I see a lot of people raving and talking about them. They seem to be cult favorites for the most part, but they have not been. And I have a lot to say, but I'll just try and warm my way through. And I hope I don't get any backlash for this. So my name is Ajwa, and I hope this video finds you well. This is going to be a list of fragrances that I feel are super overhyped. I didn't get a hype. I never fell for them. I got the opportunity to try some of these ones like when they were at the height of their hype. And I never really got the reason why some of these ones were hyped. And the first is going to be Valaya, the original one, and Mystic Bouquet, and all the several other dupes of Mystic Bouquet, Valaya. I got myself some decant of Mystic Bouquet and Delilah Blanc, which to me is the closest dupe of Mystic Valaya you can find. I think it is a better one. But even with that, nothing inspired me about Delilah Blanc to get a full size bottle. I guess for like Mystic Bouquet is the worst. It's not as good. People made it seem like it was so good. Even the original Valaya, I wasn't a fan. I got myself a sample and tried to see what the hype was about. I never really fell for it. I didn't. It probably it was just not my vibe. It's just a simple, lovely, woody, fruity, musky fragrance. Nothing really special in my opinion. And sometimes you don't need anything special. I think a lot of us say sometimes the most basic are the loveliest, and I agree. Valaya Original didn't do much for me. And I know a bunch of people will be going like, look at this lady who has like a lot of cheap fragrances speaking ill of Valaya. I know, but it's my opinion. I never really saw the hype in Valaya and especially Mystic Bouquet from Afnan. I think it was sort of poorly made in a way. It's not the best dupe of Valaya. I would go for Delilah Blanc, but even with that, I never felt the need to get myself a full size bottle. I know. Throw it at me, but I'm here and I'm just speaking my truth. Um, if there's one thing I have observed from a lot of mine, niche girlies who are trying to, get on the hype train on of Middle Eastern fragrances, sometimes it's I don't know how to think about it. I know we've had a lot of discussions about this, about people just trying to be on the hype train and blah blah. Because I know I've seen quite a number of videos from my niche girlies, trying to put their foot into the whole Middle Eastern thing, and you see something like a top list or top 10 fragrances from Middle Eastern house, and I see something like Yara Choose, and I'm like, Yara Choose from a renowned Middle Eastern niche girly. I don't know, but it leaves a sort of sour taste in my mouth. I'm just trying to be myself and let you know what I think about some of these. I guess for like if I watch a lot of people who are niche snobs and suddenly they want to put their foot into the whole Middle Eastern thing, probably because it's getting them views and stuff. And then just because something is super hyped, like Yara 2, so I'm just giving an example. And then you see these people who have like very expensive niche fragrances and you would think their tastes are very sophisticated, do top 10 Middle Eastern and your top 10 includes Yara 2s. I don't know. It's funny. It's I don't know. Sometimes I don't know how to react to it, but yeah, for someone whose collection is full of cheap fragrances, someone as someone will call it, I feel like sometimes some of the lists and recommendations leave a little bit of bitter taste in my mouth. But here we are. I'm not a fan of Valaya. I feel Valaya was super overhyped. So I don't think I'm ever going to get any of the. I think I have about 8 or 9, decants of Valaya dupes, but none of them really speaks to me to the extent that I will get myself a full bottle. So yeah, the next, fortunately, is not a designer fragrance or a niche fragrance. It's a Middle Eastern fragrance. And the only reason why I feel Musamman White Intense was overhyped, I feel it was overhyped. It is a lovely fragrance, the peach and the woods and the lychee and all those, beautiful. I guess feel at the point of release, it was made to seem it was something new and had not been done before. All this while, it's just the same old Liam Gray Chanel, Versace Crystal Noir, that vibe. So when I initially tested this one, I was not impressed. I was not impressed about the scent profile. I was like, okay, it's lovely. It's a good everyday easy grab, nothing too special, but nonetheless very lovely. That's how I felt about it. But I felt like Musamman White Intense was overhyped just because the scent profile already existed in several other variations already existing on the market. And I was like, okay, so why is it being overhyped and everybody talking about it as though it's something new and super special? It's just the same Liam Gray vibe with a touch of tropical coconut, giving it a bit of creaminess. Even Liam Gray and the Gris Chanel have a bit of creaminess to it. The same vanilla black tea vibe and the coconut, and that was my sort of thing. That is why I never really gravitated towards Musamman White Intense. I remember this one being one of the most viral fragrances of 2023, 2024. Yeah. But for some reason, it didn't speak to me. It still doesn't speak to me. I have several other decants or fragrances that I feel are quite identical. I have Liam Gray, and I'm good with that. I'm good with that. I don't think I will ever take buy a full bottle of Musamman White Intense. It's still a very lovely fragrance. I'll give it to that. It's still a very lovely, simple summer or year-round fragrance, easy reach. But I feel the DNA was already out, and why were people making it look like it was something new and brand new and never been done? That was one of my pet peeves. I was like, what is so special about this? Yes, there's something special about it. It's still very lovely, but I feel like it was just overhyped. So let me speak about this one here, the Dubai chocolate, fragrances. I've tried the one from Odyssey, Dubai chocolate, and then is it Anfa, the pistachio kunafi Dubai chocolate. None of them smells good to me. I feel like people were trying to jump on the whole bandwagon of Dubai chocolate and make something. I was expecting a lot from it, something chocolatey, intense, and creamy, and delicious, and gourmand. They are gourmand, I have these two cocoa brown, I think from Cadlach. I have Dubai chocolate, and I also have a sample of the Anfa Knafi, something, something, and none of them speak to me. I feel they were just overhyped. They were just riding on the whole Dubai chocolate thing, and none of them really worked out for me. For me personally, none of them did. Um, the the dry down feels like cheap cocoa powder, not chocolate. It feels like cheap cocoa powder feel for the three that I have tried so far, in that sort of region. That's how it feels to me. So I don't think I'm ever interested in any of the Dubai chocolate or so-called Dubai chocolate sort of, fragrances. None of them has impressed me yet. So yeah. And then I'm going to go with this one. It's a cult favorite, but yes, I don't think it is worth the hype, or it was worth the hype. I understand there's been several other dupes of Queen of Soul that are better. I'm yet to get my nose on any of them. This one left a sour sort of taste in my mouth, and I'm like, I like the original Queen of Silk. I have a sample of that, and I like it. It's well blended, much more beautiful. But this one, I don't know why it was super hyped. I remember getting this one, and I wanted to really sort of buy into the hype, try to give it the benefits of doubt and everything, but it's not working. And yeah, it's just an overhyped sort of mess in my opinion. I'm also going to go with Nyla from Arabiat. Nyla, not Nyla Vanilla or Vanilla E, the one for cafe, caramel cascade, eclair. Not that one. That one is lovely. But the original Nyla, what is the hype about? Where's my sample of Nyla from Arabiat? I feel people mistakenly bought Nyla and were misrepresenting it as Nyla Vanilla E because of that, AI generated Rihanna thing. And people were like, oh, I need to get into the whole hype and, artificially made hype, whatever. People sort of, I feel people by error got Nyla and they were hyping it as Nyla Vanilla E because they didn't know the bottles are very similar. When you get a bottle for Nyla and then Nyla Vanilla E, I've seen quite a few people who were misrepresenting Nyla as Nyla Vanilla E, trying to describe Nyla holding a bottle and trying to describe Nyla. Meanwhile, they were describing Vanilla E or Vanilla, the Nyla Vanilla. And I was like, okay, you know, the original Nyla is just a basic. People say it's comparable to Yara. I feel Yara is a lot better than the original Nyla. I like the Vanilla E thing, the eclair, velvet cream, Cadillac feel. I like it, but when it comes to the original Nyla, it doesn't deserve any sort of hype, in my opinion, considering we've had the likes of Yara and the Kisa Pinks, which I'm not like a huge fan of, and this one is like the no strawberry but floral version of Yara. Yeah, creamy, floral, lotion vibe, but nothing really special in my opinion. So yeah, that is what I'm going to say. And let me go to another niche fragrance. Another niche fragrance that I feel was super hyped up. Last year, Aromatic Aroma Concepts gave us a drip of it, Ginger Babe, from Aroma Concept. The original one, which is the ginger something from Joe Malone. Overhyped, in my opinion. It was always out of stock. People would go like, "Oh, it's always out of stock," and the price was like so hefty. I got to try it eventually after getting this bottle, and it didn't come across as anything special to me. You know that ginger snap or gingerbread, cookie sort of feel. I get a whole concept of it being a festive sort of, fragrance. It's not something that you use on daily basis, like those peppermint fragrances and body mist from Bath and Body Works and stuff. There's a time and a place for them, but considering the hype around that ginger, biscuits from Joe Malone, and this one didn't get that much of a hype. They are quite similar, but of course there is a quality difference between those two. But when I got my nose on the one from Joe Malone, and the price, I didn't really get a hype. This I've spoken about once, just once when I got it, and I don't think I've even given any update or followed up with any other thing because I like the scent. I feel there is a time and a place with the Christmas thing, but even that, it's better as a room spray. If you are having some people around for Christmas parties and stuff, I guess spray it in your room just to bring that whole essence of Christmas and festivities and cooking and baking and all those. But I would not catch myself wearing Ginger Babe from Aroma Concepts, even the original one. I will not catch myself wearing it. I feel the original was overhyped and overpriced. I don't know. Yes, people. Yes, I don't know. That is how it feels to me. So that is another fragrance that is super overhyped. And I think the last one I want to talk about is one that I've seen a lot of people, trying to sell. I know it's PR. I love PR. I enjoy PR. I've received PR from Rips, Nusuk. But this one I feel like, come on, come on. There's nothing that smells identical to Lyra. I have a sample of Lyra here. And I've seen a lot of people pushing this particular one, Flurry Emerald, as a good, as a Lyra dupe. And honestly, it doesn't really give me Lyra. I get a whole lemon vanilla thing, But this is not Lyra, the Lyra devotion vibe. It's not giving me an exact thing. Very faint, very, very faint, not much vanilla, not much, lemon, very faint, and it's not Lyra. Lyra is quite out there, and the spice and the slight booziness, and the vanilla and the lemon and everything. But what my friends are trying to sell to us as a good representation of Lyra, flurry emerald, it's not. I mean, it's a pleasant, generic, lightweight, everyday sort of, similar in the shadows of Lyra, but it's not 100% Lyra in my opinion. And these are, I think, 6 or 5 or 7 fragrances I wanted to speak about. Just air out a few things I just wanted to speak about, and I hope nobody comes for me. And my name is Ajoy, and I hope this video found you also. Please do not forget to give this video a thumbs up, and I'll be seeing my next one. Take care. Bye bye.